Sometimes Malcolm Turnbull is as transparent as a child. In Bennelong on Saturday night, he was like the 4-year-old welcoming Santa. He was full of excitement, fueled by relief, at a result that, if it had come out badly, could have shaken his leadership to its core. Over at the Labour gathering, Bill Shorten's response was carefully calculated. This was a poor outcome for the ALP, given the government's problems, Labour's star candidate, and the effort Shorten had put into campaigning. But the ALP had readied itself, even before people cast their votes, to translate whatever swing was achieved into the number of seats it would yield if replicated in a national election. This is the longest of bows, as Labour knows. There can be no meaningful projection, especially when the average swing in by-elections is around 5% and, on latest figures, this one is about that. In terms of the outcome and context, the Bennelong result resembles the 2001 by-election in the Victorian seat of Aston, where an embattled Howard government held onto a seat at a crucial time. The win gave that government a much-needed boost. Saturday was a big fillip for Turnbull. More so than the New England by-election, where he also looked like the kid for whom Christmas had come, because the result in Barnaby Joyce's seat was never in doubt. In tangible terms, the Bennelong outcome means the government is back to majority rule. The most worrying immediate consequence for Labour is that the coalition can refer to the High Court those Labour MPs it has targeted over their citizenship, and it can prevent its own being sent to judges who have proved punishing. Also important is that the result takes some pressure off Turnbull's leadership. He ends the year on as much of a high as possible for a leader who has lost 24 consecutive news polls. In the last few weeks, things have gone Turnbull's way, just as they have gone against Shorten, not least with the Sam Dastyari fiasco. Same-sex marriage is dealt with as an issue and hailed by Turnbull as his achievement, even if it took a backbench rebellion to get it done, and there is still the religious freedom debate bubbling. Progress is being made on energy policy, although that has a long way to go. Monday's budget update is set to be positive, including gross debt now projected to be at $23 billion less by the end of the forward estimates than was estimated in May. Even the pressure for a royal commission on banks has been responded to, albeit only thanks to another backbench revolt. Shorten won't be fooling himself with his own spin. The early part of 2018 could be a nightmare for Labour if it faces by-elections. This is likely in Batman in Victoria at least, and perhaps in several seats. Batman could well be lost to the Greens, which would be a disaster for the ALP. A by-election in the Queensland seat of Longman could also be problematic for Labour. Those in the opposition who are critical of Shorten can note that it would have been better if he had let the positions of ALP MPs be clarified this year rather than next. It is undeniable from polling and focus groups that Shorten will not go into the election, due in 2019, on a wave of personal popularity.